don't care. You gotta look like a hero, or you'll be nothing but a zero. Throw your hands in the air. Throw your hands
And you're live inside the Nanaimo Ice Centre. We're just under 7 minutes away from game time here as the Cowichan Valley Appollos are in Nanaimo to take on the Nanaimo Steelmen for their home opener here tonight. And pretty exciting atmosphere here as we get set to welcome both clubs to the ice, but the Nanaimo Steelmen, we'll talk about that, but they're really going to want to have to press hard here tonight. They're 0-1 on this early campaign, and the Appollos coming in at 1-0. So it was a little bit of degrees of variance in the last game, and I'm sure that the Steelmen in front of the home crowd are going to want to put on a great show here tonight, as they always do. And we've got some thoughts coming up here. We did get a chance to speak to Adam Smith, the head coach for the Cowichan Valley Appollos, and we'll just kind of get you primed up for the contest with some of the words that he had and some of the thoughts that he had on this contest coming up here tonight. So I'm just here with Adam Smith, the head coach and general manager of the Lake Cowichan Appollos, and going into tonight's game 1-0 on this early season. What do you project is going to happen here tonight, Adam?
I feel Nanaimo will probably come out with some pretty decent energy tonight. It's their home opener. We came ahead last game. Quite a sizable score there, so I expect them to probably not be happy about that and come out pretty hard.
Your top two lines have just been just so fun to watch, and maybe you can speak about just the chemistry that we've been seeing in this early season that seems like it would take weeks for most players to get to.
Yeah, the depth of our lineup, right? I mean, you can't even put a number on what line is what with us. We're just so deep, so much skill, and just a bunch of hardworking guys that like to play hockey together.
Like right down to the way that you structure the club and the way that the way that you move the puck on the ice. What would you say is probably the most important thing for the club right now to do to continue that progression?
Yeah, we really like to push the pace up ice, right? Quick transitions. We got to use our speed. We got a lot of size, but we got a lot of speed as well, and it complements each other quite well.
Well, it sort of likens me back to the Philadelphia Flyers days where they had, those big, strong forwards, and, they had the strength as well, but they also had the speed, and, they were successful for so many years, and it's a great playoff formula. I know that's a long ways away, but maybe just talk a little bit about your upcoming games and what the mindset is as you head into that.
Yeah, we're just firm believers that when you surround skill with work ethic and physicality, good things happen. We take every opponent the same. We're ready to put our boots on and get to work and play a full 60 minutes, right? Never take anyone for granted or light. We always give our best game.
Chris Ackerman listed as a starter tonight. Maybe just a word or two on his play before I let you go.
Yeah, Ace is a absolute stud of a goaltender. He's a 6'5" frame and moves like he's 5'9". He's quick, agile, and he's stolen a few games for us.
Well, those were almost like Godzilla numbers of a certain Washington goalie from back in the day. Adam, I really appreciate the interview here, and best of luck tonight for you and your troops.
Thanks, Lorenzo. Really appreciate the interview as well, and thanks for always doing such a great job on the broadcast. I know all our fans back home in Lake Cowichan love tuning in and listening to you.
That's amazing. I got a big heart sign above my head right now. Thank you, Adam, and again, best of luck tonight.
Thanks, Lorenzo.
Adam Smith, prior to tonight's contest here, and he is he's almost in game formula mode here tonight. He almost looks like he's one of the players that's ready to step out onto the ice when we were just inside the concourse there, and here inside the Nanaimo Ice Centre, things are starting to get a little bit more game ready themselves as we get set to embark on the season that will be, and it all starts here at home for the Nanaimo Steelmen. Of course, they came off of that loss down in Cowichan Valley, and it was kind of a seesaw battle, but there was a lot of talk about the Appollos goaltending, and Chris Ackerman, he He's just been kind of stealing the show here so far. Huge goaltender, 6'5". You heard Adam Smith talking about not just is he a big goaltender, but he's agile and he moves so well. So that's one of the challenges here tonight on opening night for the Steelmen, to try and get some pucks behind a 6'5" wall that moves very adeptly in his 4x6 cage just down below us. There, speaking of the man, Parker Bergstrom out on the ice, along with Watson and crew. Chris Ackerman, and there's his backup, just popped onto the ice there as well. Keegan Eddy and some of the other players for the Appollos taking to the ice here first. The Steelmen will be introduced here momentarily, I'm certain. But talk certainly a little bit about one of the newer additions that actually came from the Cowichan Valley Appollos. That's number 21, Keegan Bissett for the Steelmen. He'll be on the top line tonight. He's getting a look there with Brandon Melsness and Joey Grant. And I was mentioning to one of the organizers here today, there's something about watching number 77, Joey Grant, play for the Steelmen. There's just a lot of things he does very well with the puck and just as well without. Fans starting to roll in here now as we get ready to crack things open on what's hoping to be a successful campaign for the Nanaimo Steelmen, but they've got a large opponent here to take on tonight, and it's the same team that handed them their only loss here in this early season. And there's a bunch of the Steelmen warming up here, and as I mentioned, big number 77, Joey Grant, in between the pipes with that prolific green helmet of his. That's Riley Medvez. And speaking of agile goaltenders and proficiency in the crease, he's a lot of fun to watch. And he's gonna need to have his A game here tonight to give these Steelmen a chance to take bragging rights here. Brandon Melsness joins his teammates on the line as they get ready to introduce the Steelmen here to the home fans. And it's kind of cool. There's you can actually see a little bit of the Appollos cheering squad there. Very well done. There's some good support here tonight for the Cowichan Valley Appollos. But there's certainly a lot of Steelmen fans too, and I would have to think that they will try and carry the volume here tonight. Don Miller giving me some last moment roster adjustments here. It looks like the second line pairing of Braden Kamita, the 1991 born Lake Cowichan product. He's a scratch now for tonight. And that it's Brendan Wilson in backup capacity behind Chris Ackerman here tonight from Salt Spring Island. Long before my wife and I moved here to Vancouver Island, we lived on the mainland, and we would make little pilgrimage every summer to Salt Spring Island. And now that I live here on the island, it's not such a big deal. But boy, when you're on the mainland. Anyways, Salt Spring Island, that's where our starting goaltender starts from. And Riley Medvez, he's in between the pipes here tonight for the Steelmen. And the officials for tonight, your head referee is Jake Podan, and Darren Matriarch, he's the other head referee, and Caden Belmore and Jack McNabb. They'll be on the lines here tonight, helping keep track in what's going to be, I'm believing, a pretty physical contest from what we saw in the home opener for the Cowichan Valley Appollos. They introduced Joey Grant, number 77. Jordan Ray, he'll be wearing 97 for the Steelmen. Darian Pause wearing number 44 on that first line pairing defense alongside Tynan Klein Beekman. The former Campbell River Storm had a couple of very successful seasons in the VIJHL, and he's transitioned them well here at this level. AJ Zevelekian and Braden Kettlewell, they'll be the second pairing on defense for the Nanaimo Steelmen. Quinton Sidaway, Jared Winkle, and newcomer Isaac Embry. They'll be manning the third line, the checking line for the Steelmen. And Jordan Ray, Kobe Verbicki, and speedster Jordan Picard. That's a very fast fourth line. But you heard Adam Smith talk about the depth that's up and down the bench for the Cowichan Valley Appollos, and I'm sure that will be very much the theme here tonight, how well the Steelmen can match up line for line with the Appollos Hockey Club. So Coleman's number 31. He's the backup here tonight to starter Riley Medvez, who's just getting a feel in his crease there. Little shot of water to start things off here. Stay hydrated. Lots of work coming up here for number 29. And, of course, at the other end of the ice, as we heard in the interview, Chris Akerman, or Akes as they refer to him, as he's hoping to grab a road win here in their first game on the road away from the confines of the Cowichan Sports Flex. Opening face-off belongs to the Appollos, and they'll work it off the right side. Roberts sends it in from just inside center, and that's met along the far side boards by Trey Watson. Good energy line to get things going, but his mate Cole Broadhurst. Oh, and look at that thundering check. Jordan Picard, after he tried to tip that puck, he got drilled right at the blue line. And the heavy hockey begins right away from behind the net. Stolen momentarily, Jordan Picard, but all he can do is reverse it. Steelman will try and put pressure on this near side, looking for the stretch pass. Watson couldn't touch it. He's going to peel off for a change. Out comes Franklin. Eddie, they're out there now. Thompson joining the trio here. In over the line, go the Steelmen. Hard drive towards the goal. Sharp angle chance, and that's swallowed up as Isaac Embry gets his first shot officially as a Nanaimo Steelman. Formerly a pro in the FPHL, the Federation Hockey League. There's a shot, and that's blockered away. Rebound, and Ackerman, he tried to cover the near side post. Nearly lost his balance, but he didn't have to touch it on the second shot. Play just down below the goal line, kept in, through the crease, tipped down in front, and that one didn't miss by much as Embry on that give and go with the side of the net. He gets another shot, and Embry's feeling some excitement and energy here as he cracks off a couple of shots, and I'll tell you, he is coming as advertised. Good nose for the net and was able to enact on that give and go out of the corner, and that's exactly the kind of jump early here that the Steelmen need. Puck is just laying vacantly under Hooper, and now he has to get back up and chase the puck. There's a knockdown on the right or left side, pardon me. Over the line they come. 4-2 going towards the net. Intercepted in the slot. And now the Steelmen get it away. Could be a 3-on-1 if they hurry over the line. There's a drop from Grant into the middle, and the pass was broken up on the return play. Bryce Burnett getting back into position just in time and breaking up that 3-on-1. And he's putting some heat on now, and he helped turn the puck over on the backhand across the slot. Oh, and that one goes off of Medvez's shoulder and hits the pipe. Riley Medvez off his shoulder, and that was close. You could hear a little bit of the clank up here. On the return, Arjun Vanderlingen takes a shot, and that's off of the crest and down in between the pads. And another stop here for Chris Ackerman. That's his fourth so far, and he's been tested. The Steelmen getting the pucks to the goal the way they wanted to, and Isaac Embry has had two of those so far, and he's looked great for the Steelmen early. Para from the point takes a shot, and that's off McLean's leg and drifts wide. Behind the goal, backhand in the middle, and there's a right pad save. Ackerman, and they just get rid of it. Para out at center ice, backing up, playing D-to-D, 3-4 checkers, creating some pressure there. Nice backhand pass, finds one in flight. There's a shot, and it's off of a leg. Embry nearly got it to go. And that's a good shot from Bissett as he just came in and made sure that they got the puck on goal, and they're going to get another offensive zone face-off, and this is how they want to play it here. Trying to keep the Cowichan Valley Appollos on their heels. The Lake Cowichan Appollos 1-0 on this early season. Embry got knocked down in front of the goal, and I think he was helped out there by Josh Anderson, the captain. Puck is shot in from distance. Medvez thought about playing it. There's out to Thompson, and he rips it up high on the wrist shot. Puck is loose in the corner, and the Appollos come up with it back to the point. Shot through traffic, and that one drifts on the stick side. Good hit on the near side as Mazarenko gets the puck free, and that one goes up into the netting. A sharp angle opportunity there. Shot up into the netting. That was a Colton Thompson shot from Duncan, BC. He's got a goal and a couple of helpers for 3 points. That was transpired in their home opener. Caleb Franklin, there was a shot of him, a 1999 born player, and he also had a whale of a first game. A goal, 3 assists. Broken pass there, and Picard is talking things over with the defensive core on what they want to do now. Here is, it looks like Broadhurst is headed to the box. Cole Broadhurst. Trying to remember which year it was. I think it might have been 2017 or 2018, but he was the VIJHL Rookie of the Year. Cole Broadhurst, he's in the penalty box now, and I think the call was interference, but we'll have to wait and see. Appollos get it to the point, but Pana keeps it alive. Jordan Ray on the cross-ice pass. Gliding through the far face-off circle. Saucer pass. Oh, and look out. Pause lined that one up. Oh, so it was a high stick. Appollos get it to the sideboards, and it's a high stick that the Steelmen touched the puck with. Right away, the bench was animated, the Appollos bench, when they saw that the puck was knocked down. I think They recognized it was just over his shoulder, so the face-off is back in the Steelman zone because of that high stick on the power play. One of the newer rulings that's transcended from the NHL. Pause. Trying to help that puck along the far side boards. Gets it up as far as the half wall. Tynan Klein-Bakeman sent it down ice. Found Picard. He has Winkle heading in, and he delivers it to him off the half wall. That pass barely made it back, but a nice backhand pass by Picard. Pause lost the handle. It's out over the blue line, and they're going to have to hang on. Winkle goes for a skate. His mates touch up, and he's trying to maintain control along the far side wall. Drops off to the defender. Below the goal line. Has one going to the net on the backhand. Rebound. Oh, what a defensive play as they kept that out. How did it stay out? And I think the answer might be Jamie Roberts, the Ladysmith product, got a leg in front of that shot, bailing out Chris Ackerman. Puck is way high up in the air, and it's knocked down. It's on edge, and it makes outside the line with 38 to go on the PP. Steelman, lots of shots. They've got 7 so far. Oh, a little bit of stick handling here. Now in over the line. Jordan Ray takes a shot, and that didn't miss by a lot on the stick side. Long-range pass. Franklin, that hops over his stick, and Medvez threatened to come out and play it, but the defense is just going to work it in behind the net. Looks like they might have one more crack down ice here, but it's intercepted. Hogg. Oh, and he tried to play it back to Franklin. Sent it right back to him, but they are shorthanded. Now the Steelmen. Oh, and that's going to maybe be a penalty against Sidaway. We'll have to wait and see how this pans out, but it seems Isaac Embry is having a little discussion with the head official there, with Jake Podan. I'm not sure if anything's going to come out of that, but it is a face-off in their zone with only 5 seconds remaining in that power play. But they will have puck possession for now. Played behind the goal. And now Embry skates it out. Far side pass. Off the wing, shot towards the goal, and that's swallowed up at the top of the blue paint. Chris Ackerman getting in front of that one, and that one won't trouble him too much from that distance. But it will give both sides a chance to get the personnel out they want. Bissett, he's right back out there. Keegan Bissett, along with Brandon Melsness. And there's the shot from the point. There's a right pad save. Kicked out. Para off of the half boards, but he was checked neatly from the back by Thompson, and that gets Hogg away up the far side boards. Para ties him up. Ray backhands it along the wall, but it comes to the point. Shot from distance, and that went wide on the glove side. Steelman pick it up with a little bit of room to work with. Hooper gets it through to Bissett, even though it was partially knocked down, and he gets knocked down. Hard hit along the line. Keegan Eddy stepped into him, and that blew Eddy over too. Oh, Franklin, he pokes it by. Here's a potential 2-on-1 through the crease into the slot. There's a shot up over the net. Eddy was on the trail, and he puts it up high over the glove side. Race for the puck. At the blue line, he won't have possession, or at least control to be able to take it over the line, but Melsness might. Kicks it up to his stick. Ray waiting. What a weird bounce off the glass partition, but they're going to backhand it in. Someone got decked from the back there as Tynan Klein-Beekman sent it in. There's a shot from Ray, and that one just rips wide on the near side. Pause wants another crack at it, but it goes off of the defender's skate. And Eddy, he's probably going to peel for a change here. He was active down ice. That might be an icing call against the Steelmen. Indeed it is. Jordan Ray tried to dive to get a piece of it. And that's going to come back all the way back into Steelman territory. Shot of big Brandon Melsness there. Was able to kick the puck up with his right skate. Still a little bit hard to make that move and avoid a hit at the same time. And one of his teammates certainly took a hard hit because of a similar play. Shot on goal, and there's a second pad off of the outside of Riley Medvez's pad, and now a solid hit. Melsness, though, joining his team on side. Puck sent in by him in behind the goal. Picard throws a shoulder. He's going to get a hit from the back there. into the middle, and that one just went through the crease as Watson stapled him along the boards for having that puck. Winkle tried to apply some pressure, and now on the counter come the Appollos. But there's 4 black jerseys back in support. Watson tries to move in and does provide some support, but he takes a bump, and that takes him off the puck. And it'll give the Steelmen a chance to work it off of the far side. Saucer pass out to Winkle, and that lands right on his stick. Drives outside, one hand on it through the crease. Oh, and he got knocked off stride before he could complete the play. Backhand shovel finds the point. There's a shot, and that one's off of a sliding defender. And Broadhurst getting down and making himself big and present, and he gets a piece of that. Up into the netting it goes. And I wonder if maybe that went off of Isaac Embray, that most recent shot, if a piece of that hit him on the way out. But he looks like he's in all sorts of discomfort there. He came off, and he's got a towel up against, it looks like his forehead area. So Brandon Melsness is being called back out to the ice. Melsness lining up on the left wing. Referees wanted to have a look at that most recent injury there to Embray. Puck comes to the point, and the Steelmen with some possession, but it comes around to the near side. Melsness gets there first, backhands it to the point. Here it comes off this sharp angle, and a good shot and a blocker save. Ackerman, as that one comes through the crease again, the Steelmen are doing a good job funneling towards the goal, but on the counter it's tipped in by Parker Bergstrom, and he's going to give chase. Kettlewell angles him out. Puck goes to the far side boards. Burnett tipped it to the defender so he can get a shot through at least. But the Steelmen on the counter, and now they might have an odd man rush here if they try, but Melsness wanted to peel for a change, and he'll get off. Out comes Hooper. He'll join the fray as the Steelmen try and work it out of the far side boards. Burnett had it in his skates for a moment, and that half-second hesitation allowed the Steelmen to break it up at least for a moment. As Hooper provides some down ice pressure, here's a steal at the line, but Burnett's offside. He just tried to sneak around 2 Steelmen right in the middle of a change, and that'll bring out Andrew Plum, but a good burst of speed by Burnett as he was hoping to catch the Steelmen basically running into each other. One coming off the ice, one coming onto the ice right through the box there, which of course is right there at the blue line, and the backup goaltender, Cole Mans, he's the one that helps open and close that for the oncoming and offcoming players. Vanderlingen in his skates falls down trying to keep the play alive, but it's ultimately poked out. And now 3-on-3 come back. There's a shot, and that's off of the defender's stick and drifts into the corner. Hooper throws a good hit on his man, and that at least allowed it to come free for a moment, shot through traffic. And that one didn't miss by a lot. They were looking for the tip in front, but they weren't able to get it now from the point, and that's a high riser. Everyone kind of ducking for cover. Now a sharp angle shot. I think Nedvez got a piece of it, but it was going wide. Plum off of the half wing boards. Vanderlingen gets thumped, but he got the pass away, and the Steelmen do have possession. But the backhand shovel out to Bissett wasn't in a good position. But now he might be able to on the shovel return to Para shooting, and then he hooks it up over the Trapper's side. And the puck comes out all the way along the other side. A missed hit, and now it's 3-on-3. Oh, Picard got back, and so did Para. Now up through the middle of the ice. They were trying to catch Vanderlingen, but that's intercepted by Hogg. Sends the pass through. Picard had his stick knocked out of his hands. Sent to center ice. Picard turns and finds the puck, and he has a trailer coming. He sees him off of the skate. The pass was just a little behind him. Hard clear to the middle. That bounces off of one of the Steelmen forwards. Ray shoots. It was tipped, and Shelton got a piece of it. Colby Shelton on the way through, and a good knockdown tip about, I'd say about 9 or 10 feet out in front of the goal. So a good play by the Steelmen. And that's shot number 11 for the Steelmen. Not a category that they were leading in the last game, but they've certainly been able to get shots through, and they've especially had Isaac Embray with two great chances off of this near side face-off circle where Trey Sidaway is right now, and it looks like they're leading Thompson over to the penalty box. So something that happened at the tail end of that play has Thompson in the penalty box for the Apollos. So a power play here. Pause from the point. One-time shot. Oh, and it just drifted through. Didn't miss the far post by much. Hard pass to the point. It's a laser, and it was spot on. The rebound curled to the middle, and now it's just rifled down ice. The Apollos doing a good job to just get rid of it. The first 15 seconds of the power play were quite eventful, and now Broadhurst on the forecheck. He's the lone man in. Nice pass through the middle. Putting on the brakes is Embray on the drop. Pause across to the other side. Now off the right shot, and that's through traffic. They were looking to hit Joey Grant in the right in front of Ackerman. He was just at the bottom of the face-off circle, but he wasn't able to make contact. And the big 6'5" goaltender Chris Ackerman sees that and hauls it in. No trouble on that play. Sidaway into the face-off he goes. One back by the Steelmen, but nearly a bobble. Zavlekian holding hard. Wrister goes through a crowd, and Winkle picks it up on the far side. Joey Grant from behind the net. Oh, look out. He had to get out of the way as there was a thundering hit coming in. And one... behind the goal, but he gets a little bit of help from Grant, who would love nothing more than some payback. Oh, here's a fall by Shelton, but Burnett, I don't know if he's going to be able to break free. He puts on the brakes into the slot. There's a nice move.
Make sure you don't.
Puck in behind the net as the Steelmen get control at the end of this power play. Jordan Ray sends it back to his defense, and they get the jackknife in behind the goal. Ackerman thought about coming out to play it. Backhand pass by Winkle. Didn't find anyone, but Picard goes and gets it to the point. Shot was bobbled. Now it's a 2-on-1. If they hurry, Thompson's going to have a breakaway. Right-handed shot in, and a goal. Shoots, and he rips it wide. Puck bounces hard as he was aiming blocker side. And luckily for the Steelmen, the puck stayed in play, and they've got numbers coming back. Melsness slowly over the line. Sends the pass in set off of the top of the face-off circle. Vanderlingen puts on the brakes, but he got stripped of the puck. Burnett sends it through to Thompson, but there's a long reach from the Steelman defense. Tynan Klein Bakeman poked it off of his stick through the crease. Thompson looking for the one-touch pass. Comes to the point. Van Herk sends it to the left side into the middle. Eddie turns and shoots. That's off of a player in front. Winkle getting that block. Through the crease it goes, and that stick side shot goes in and out the other side. A fan on that pass, but it ultimately gets out to Winkle. 2-on-4, so he's going to try and buy his mates time to get off. Plum getting on the ice. Same with Bissett, who heads into forecheck now. Backhand pass across ice is a good one for the Apollos. 3-on-3. Now they have another man joining. 4-on-3 through the crease shooting. And that shot by Easton. That's swallowed up by Riley Medvez about a foot inside the tip of the blue paint. Riley Medvez keeps it a 0-0 game. That's only shot number 4 for the Lake Cowichan Apollos. Plum heading over to the right side there, and on the inset, Shelton on the left wing, just a little further inset from Joey Grant, and there's some kind of conversation happening over at the bench there. I think Darren Matriarch was having a word with the Steelman bench. Face-off win to the Steelmen, sent across. There's a penalty coming up to, I think it'll be Shelton for tripping right in front of the goal. I think he got Mazarenko. Burnett, now the goaltender's been pulled for the extra attacker. 6-on-5. Setting it up from down below the goal line. In behind the net. Still with control for the Appollos. Mazarenko waiting, and he gets the pass. Couldn't get a shot off, and that's intercepted by Colby Shelton. And it will be a tripping call, and he heads right towards the box as predicted. Looked like he maybe was trying to run just a little bit too much interference, almost right about where the face-off will take place here inside the Nanaimo zone. Shots are 15 for the Steelmen, 4 for the Appollos. And some really good support here from the Appollos fans. Hogg sends it D to D as they start this power play off. Good puck movement. Now to the near side face-off circle. Franklin sends it back up top to Ryan Hogg. Shoots through traffic, looking for the tip in front. And Broadhurst was in front, and Broadhurst has his glove upturned, appealing for a penalty. A little bit animated there in front of the goal, and he's not exactly happy with the attention he drew, but he's definitely heading to a spot where there's a lot of work goes on in front of goaltenders, and you can bet that the defense here definitely don't want anybody getting in too tight with Riley Medvez on this power play. On the near side to Hogg, has some room, skates in, he was shooting low, and that one went off a skate in front. And the Steelmen at least buy some time. Winkle out of the far side corner. He got a piece of it, and now he gets an extra piece. Away he goes. Potential 2-on-2. He has one in the middle. He puts on the brakes, and he just leaves off. Bissett can pick up the chase. Bissett takes a hard hit as he moves in to try and collect that puck. And as Keenan Eddy got back, a little bit of a misplay there, and the puck is immediately shot by the Steelmen, and that's going to get them a chance to get a full line change here. Pause takes a bump from Thompson, who's headed off. Puck was sent down ice, and it's all for naught. It's going to be an icing call, and that will be much to the delight of the Nanaimo Steelmen, who basically put on enough pressure to force an icing call. There's Cole Broadhurst, and he's still not very happy with that extra shot. I think one of the gloves from one of the opposing players got up right near his face there. I'd have to go back and watch it again, but I think they're saying to live and let live for right now, and they'll keep their eye out for it. Says Jake Podan as they get things back underway. A face-off win for the Appollos. And they'll set it up from behind their own goal. Brady Van Herk, former Oceanside General. Parker Bergstrom now in on the near side. Tried to drop off to Van Herk, and Easton has to cover. He gets back in support as that was intercepted by Brandon Melsness. His big long reach knocking that one down. So here they go again. They'll fire it up again with 31 to go in the power play. Melsness, backhand shovel, just sends it right back into the Appollos territory. So they're going to have to back up once again here. That's going to really whittle the time down. Evan Easton going for a skate. Hits the blue line with speed. One arms it behind the goal. Kicks it up to his forehand. Still taking shots from the back, but it gets to Van Herk shooting through traffic, and there was all sorts of players in front, and now the puck is sent down ice. Melsness is going to race in, and a little bit of an adventure by Chris Ackerman. Penalties over. Back to 5 aside. Jordan Pickard skates in, avoids a hit along the boards, at least only partially. Josh Anderson stapling him and takes control of the puck. The left shooting defender exerting all sorts of muscle there and giving Jordan Pickard the business, but the clearing pass from Mazarenko is not able to be hooked up with Burnett, and that's going to be an icing call once again against the Apollos. So a face-off now back in Lake Cowichan territory. Anderson and Van Herk on the back end here for this defensive face-off. Easton cheats into the face-off circle, goes back out, but the face-off win is shot up off of the netting, and Burnett, they'll do this one again from the same location. So the shots, 15 for the Steelmen, 6 so far for the Appollos. Sukraj Narwhal, he's out there for this ensuing face-off. Ryan Hogg into the circle he goes. Left shooting forward. Tried to play it straight down. There's a shot through traffic, and that's blockered away by the goaltender Ackerman. Para nearly got it back to his mates in the corner, but now the other Hogg brother in over the line on the drop to McLean, shooting, and he didn't miss by a lot on the Trapper side, about 1.5 feet off the ice. Puck goes into the corner, and the Appollos starting to get some mojo here. Hogg sends it to Anderson, and a bullet shot fought off by Medvez. Got it off the blocker, and that thing was humming. Has another chance. Wrist shot. The rebound. Oh, and it's fired wide off of the wall, and now a race for it to center ice. Mazarenko tried to find it. He falls down, but there's a 2-on-1 on the other way. Shoot, scores! Jordan Picard on the counter, and the Steelmen grab first blood on home opener night. Jordan Picard, and it was all about that effort right in front of his bench. And you could see the excitement on Isaac Embre's face as he told his teammates, hey, we got that because of pure hard work and effort, boys. And that's the kind of stuff you want to see in front of your home fans on opening night. Jordan Picard opening the scoring with only about 2:45 remaining in the opening period. Joey Grant, he's tracked by two Appollos right away, but right back to work they go. Puck is up in the air. Broadhurst finds the pass. And away goes Ryan Hogg. Takes a bump right in front of the Steelman bench. And now on the counter, another 2-on-1. Has Sidaway going to the goal. Will he get it to him? Now he does. It's underneath the goaltender Ackerman with a big save. The puck's underneath him. And Chris Ackerman. Joey Grant gets ragdolled to the ice. But an awesome opportunity stymied by Chris Ackerman. Oh, that was a big stop, and you see just how agile he is. Adam Smith talked about it in the pregame, and right there, he on the 2-on-1, the saucer pass to Sidaway. How did he get across with the right pad to make that stop? I don't know, but it was a good stop. It was a great stop, and it could have been 2-0 as easy as that. Jared Winkle into the face-off circle. Ackerman doing his best to keep his team in it. And now on the counter goes Franklin. 2-on-3 over the line. Thompson speedy down the wing, but the Steelmen poke it away from him, and they'll flip it out over the blue line and out to center ice. Sidaway's got some more time out on the ice, and he tracks that puck. He got his stick in front of the clearing attempt. Eddie, and he throws a hit on him as he turns, but he got it up to Thompson, who's going to take a staple along the far side boards, and I don't think he liked that. As he tries to get off of his man, he knocks the helmet off of Zavalekian. Zavalekian's going to get off the ice as the puck is sent down ice, and as soon as they're back, which they are now, Brady Van Herk will get the icing call, and Zavalekian's helmet still remains on the ice. As that was a pretty upset customer as Thompson came in over the line, and when he went to go disentangle himself, he made sure it was in a very animated fashion. Face off now to the left of Riley Medvez. Parker Bergstrom into the face off, tries to pull it through the skates of the opposing center. Now it's knocked off the boards. Can the Steelmen get some degrees of clarity there? Ray tried to pull it to his forehand, and Anderson gets a stick in the road, and that's a big size mismatch. Jordan Ray, he's going to have to use speed to win this battle. Puck is poked behind the goal, just 70 seconds to go in the period. Jordan Picard. Oh, a flying hip check, just sidestepped as Ray came stepping in. Down the wing they go. Burnett tried to play it to the middle, and now the Steelmen, they're just going to counter right back again. Stick handling through. Jordan Ray gets turned by Hogg, but he has the puck on the sharp angle. Tried to backhand it through. Ackerman gets the paddle down and intercepts that. And then there's a hit right at the blue line. Bergstrom looking to send it through to Burnett, and once again, they're unable to connect with him. And with a shade under 39 seconds to go, Burnett and company will have to come back down the ice. And the linesman giving Burnett a couple of instructions. Bryce Burnett from Crofton, BC. He's got a goal and an assist through one game, and I'm sure he'd love to help add to that. I don't know if they're going to be able to add anything before this period is out, but it would certainly be a devastating blow for the Steelmen. Face-off is won by the Appollos, and Bergstrom heads down the right wing. Mazarenko had trouble collecting that puck, and he sends it in high, but that forces a trapper save out of Riley Medvez, and he's not going to take any chances. He had Evan Easton, a former Victoria Cougar, and a very, very smooth skating hockey player. And he's certainly not easy to beat in a race for the puck. Most players have seen that. Great skater. Puck is backhanded off of the boards by Broadhurst, who's had a physical first period here, and I'm sure that's what the Appollos want from him. Dying seconds of the period now. Ryan Hogg off of the boards, and they're just going to leave it in the neutral ice area. And look out as the linesman, Caden Belmore, had to sort of duck out of the way there, that clear in, just to make sure that the Appollos had the puck in the end of the ice that they wanted it in. Well, for now, there's no boiling over animosity as the players leave the ice, but we are only 20 minutes deep. And Anderson just out to have a word with Jake Podan and Darren Matriarch about maybe a couple of the calls they thought maybe should have been a different sort of way. And before we go any further, I certainly wanted to make mention of someone that we're very pleased to have alongside us here today, and that's Todd Jones with Rogers TV, and of course here on what I believe to be a very, just a very convenient method of broadcasting, and YouTube, of course, has taken over the internet, so to speak. And we're certainly pleased to be able to bring you this contest live here from the Nanaimo Ice Centre. You'll see people filing out behind us to go get beverages and concession items and whatnot. But it's been a good contest so far. It's been a close one here, a 1-0 game, and Jordan Pickard just taking advantage of a solid hit from right down in front of his head coach there, Andy Hellweger, and a 2-on-1 the other way. Makes it a 1-0 game. Great goaltending, though, from Chris Ackerman. He's already faced 17 shots in this through 20 minutes, so he's facing almost a shot a minute. And at the other end, Riley Medvez, there was that one blast from Josh Anderson that was just cooking from the point. It's probably one of the hardest shots I've seen, not just this year, but in the West Coast League. By far, Anderson just let it rip, and absolutely kind of Al McInnes type release. And he's a big fellow that was able to get some heat on that one, and that caused a lot of trouble for Medvez. He was able to block it away, but that rebound came down in his crease. Good defensive play by the Steelmen, and I have to say, Braden Kettlewell, he has really played well defensively. A couple of timely poke checks. There was that one poke check on Bryce Burnett, was able to get it out of his reach. Otherwise, it was a good sharp angle chance. Riley Medvez had just gone down, had just committed, so he was going to have to use his upper body to make that save. And Kettlewell be able to poke that one away at the last moment. So as far as specialty teams, you'd have to think that even though it wasn't the power play goal, it seemed like that little bit of a rush that was created, a good 3 shots on that second power play for the Nanaimo Steelmen. They're able to get a couple of great chances, and they kind of used that momentum. It wasn't long after that Jordan Pickard threw that hit right in front of his own bench, was able to pick up the puck. Player stayed down for a moment, and away he went on a 2-on-1. But a great save by Ackerman. We have to go back to that one. That was late in the opening period. Chris Ackerman, the 2-on-1. Pass gets saucered through from Jordan Ray over to Trey Sidaway, and Sidaway tried to bury it underneath his right pad. Chris Ackerman left to right, sliding save, and he keeps the puck out. That could have easily been the 2-0 goal. So a pretty back and forth period. We take on the next 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, it's a 1-0 lead for the Nanaimo Steelmen. And going to step away here for a moment and grab a little bit of hydration. We've got more WCSHL coming up right after this. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast here on YouTube Live, the Nanaimo Steelmen channel. Me and Todd Jones just doing, kind of Spidey kind of things. 1-0 is the score here. Steelmen jumping out to a 1-0 lead late in the first period. And some good sportsmanship happening down there on the ice. Zavalekian and Thompson. Colton Thompson, the top liner, a big smile on his face. And he had a pretty productive first period. I thought that he was one of the fastest and most motivated puck carriers. He seemed like he definitely had purpose and vision. And so it does look like the Steelmen will be starting off period number 2 with a man in the box. But I'm not sure if it's actually based on the personnel I'm seeing on the ice. There we go. Now we're down to 4. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was just one of those 10-minute misconduct infractions where it's still even up. But it is a 5-on-4 power play, so the Appollos, they didn't have much to speak of for power play opportunities in the first period, but this is a golden opportunity for them to strike back here and even things up. After winning their home opener in front of their crowd there in Lake Cowichan, there's a hard pass up the left side, and that was tipped forward. And we're back underway here. Second period, long range tip in for Keegan Eddy. Darian Pause backs up and he sends the puck behind the goal for Tynan Klein-Bakeman. Throws it up the far side boards, but it's intercepted at center by the Appollos. Hogg stole it, drifting through, and he nearly pulled it through, but good speed at least forces a one passing error by the Steelmen. Picard in on the forecheck, same with Ray, patrolling things out near the blue line, the former VIU Mariners. Eddy tries to one-arm it around his check, and he's not going anywhere against Klein-Bakeman. Off of the boards. Good intercept by Anderson, and pass to Thompson shooting, and that was deflected. And I believe that Tynan Klein-Bakeman getting a little piece of that, sending it up into the netting. Another look at Colton Thompson, getting some love at the bench there from his teammates. And saw McLean giving him some pats on the helmet there as well. They're happy with his efforts here within the first minute of the second period. Puck is backhanded by Kettlewell out towards center, and that's picked up by Wilson. A nice tidy pass through to Cole Broadhurst. He tried to tip it forward to the far side, and that one was intercepted by the defense. Embry with his face to the play, has turned over now. Easton has some room, fires it, swallowed up by Medvez. He had to go off of his right arm, right around the forearm area, and then he pounced on that rebound. He was the first one to it, and good puck control by number 29. A little bit of a fun exchange there. Parker Bergstrom from Lake Cowichan, BC, with 2 points here on this early season. That looks like Embry's taking a seat on the bench here for this defensive zone face-off as it's worked out of the corner by the Appollos. Broadhurst shoots, and that was stick to the corner. Zavalekian puts it on the backhand, but it doesn't escape the zone. Puck is sent to the near side corner, and the Steelmen get the pass out to Joey Grant, but a nice backhand, at least for the moment. Intercepted by Wilson. Takes a little shot from Hooper, but he gets the puck free to Bergstrom. Drop pass was errant at the line, and now 2-on-3. Back they come. Joey Grant, look at that speed down the wing. Curls it to the middle, and an offensive block by Brady Van Herk. Brady Van Herk with a great stick, and he breaks up what could have been a 2-on-1. Here's a potential breakaway pass for Easton, and he throws his head skyward as he knows that little bobble, that little deflection. It was a hard puck to corral anyways. But boy, he would have been one on Riley Medvez. Nice saucer pass over across to Melsness, and he rips it off of the trapper. Picard trying to create some heat, but the pass is through to Nelson. 3-on-3, they come back the other way, the Appollos. Nielsen puts it in behind the goal. Whacked through to the other side. Takes a funny hop off the glass, and a nice stick by Melsness. Gets a control over to Ray. Over the line, snaps it, and that drifted off of the leg. One of the defenders, puck bouncing off the back of the net, now back in play. Steelman raced, but they can't keep it in at the far side line, so they'll back it up with Andrew Plum, former captain. The Steelman, and a hard hit by the other captain, Josh Henderson, as he sends Jordan Ray for a little ride in front of the bench. Puck is chipped high down inside the line, and Picard is going to be the lone forechecker for now as his new mates join him on the ice. Puck is flipped high and down ice, and the Steelmen will take over back in their own zone. Plum looking over his shoulder. He's got Narwhal coming from one side and another Appollos from the other. Puck is kept in by Burnett on the far side. Curls pass to Ryan Hogg. Took a skip on him. Roberts from the point. Shoots it off a defender's skate. And now the backhand clears not out of trouble. Hogg, sharp angle. Chance at the side of the net. Big save by Riley Medvez. And another one, but they put it underneath them. And they score. All sorts of discombobulation, but Brendan Hogg deposited under the goaltender Riley Medvez, and they capitalize on that rebound in front. And Medvez, he regroups here as he was under siege after making a great stop on his blocker side. And the Appollos evening things up here in period number 2. Jared Winkle getting set into the draw there with Isaac Embry joining him on the ice, and the puck comes right to him, but it's knocked away just as quickly. McLean on the drop to Narwhal. Plays it through to himself on the far side boards. Has a man with him at the side of the goal, and that's Ryan Hogg who puts on the brakes. Actually, and Brendan Hogg now has his helmet readjusted. Hard hit by McLean at the line as they were trying to get outside. And that'll allow Ryan Hogg to send the pass to Narwhal. Over the blue line they go. The Steelman backing up with it. Puck goes to the goal, jamming away at the side of the crease and keeping his left pad tight to the post. Riley Medvez keeping that one out. Puck bounces. Here's a chance for the Steelmen in front, and that pass was broken up. Good intercept by the Appollos. Big defensive play inside their own zone, and they're playing great hockey right now. They're energized, and Sukraj Narwhal, the most recent defensive-minded play. Eddie, though, with a gift pass in front of the goal on the backhand, trying to drive it around. Medvez peeps him out, and the net goes off the moorings. Incredible save by Riley Medvez. Jamming away. How did he keep it out? He keeps his pads tight to the post, and the net comes off the mooring in the whole ordeal. Darian Pause thanks Riley Medvez for his commitment to that save. Oh, beautiful work by Medvez. A little over 4.5 minutes in. Some big saves from Medvez. Keeps us one tied at 1. They came into the period with the lead, but the Appollos have tilted the ice here in the second period. Face off to Medvez's left. And it's a face-off win by the Appollos. Cleared hard into the slot. Thompson takes a bump. Gets the return pass. High slot. Shoot. And there's some leather larceny. Riley Medvez snags it at the top of the blue paint. And a great save by Riley Medvez. Oh, he's come to play in this second period. And he is really... Wow, remember when the shots were 17-7. They're now 18-16. Wilson on the drop pass from Thompson, tries to return it to him, and it floats through. Brady Van Herk kept that play alive. Good skating definitely keeps this play going as they get the cycle going to Franklin. Bounces it back to Van Herk, left shooting defender. Protects it along the wall, sends it back on to Wilson. Tried to thread it through. That's off of the skate of Vanderlingen and comes outside the zone. Van Herk has to recover near the center line. Up the wing they go, 2-on-2, 3-on-3 now as Eddie plays it into Franklin on the return pass through the crease. Shot by Thompson, fought off by Medvez, and it goes up over the goal. Oh boy, Medvez has been under siege, but they're just keeping the fort steady. To the point to Van Herk on the drop-off, face-off circle, shot, and it drifts through the crease. Oh, and it bounced off of someone's shoulder in front and fell down right in front of the goal. Jordan Ray calling for the stretch pass, and he gets it. One-on-one with Van Herk. Tries to play it around through the crease. Oh, and a big save as Akerman was committing, moving from right to left, but he sticks out the right pad, and he gets the right toe on it. Great goaltending here, just like we were hoping was going to happen. Picard reaches out, hauls that puck in on that hard pass from Plum. He's under a little bit of pressure here now as Easton backing him up in his own zone. I told you he's a smooth skater, and he creates a lot of pressure with his forecheck. There he goes again as the puck is tapped behind the goal by Medvez. This time Andrew Plum says enough of that. And two can play at that game. Away goes our goal scorer, Picard. Plays it to Brandon Melsness, and he couldn't take it cleanly on the back check from Mazarenko. Look out, there was a hit coming from behind the goal, but nothing comes of that. And back come the Appollos, 3 over the line. Broadhurst waits, tried to float to the middle of the face-off circle. One-arm pass gets to Winkle. Winkle braces, but he gets hit right in front of the Appollos bench. Ooh, that looked dangerous. There's a stretch pass, 2-on-1 through the other way. Shot at a right shoulder save. Oh, and a great job by Riley Medvez, and he's down. Puck is put through, and they're calling it a goal. The net got knocked off the moorings, but they're saying that the puck made it underneath in time. Riley Medvez, he was searching for that puck. He made the initial stop with his left pad and couldn't really see where the puck was after that, but he was down and the puck was out, but someone was able to poke it loose. And I'm going to have to wait for the official ruling here on the goal because there was just no way to see underneath Medvez, who was able to get a stick on it and poke it underneath his his left pad that was tight to the post. But we do know the Appollos have come in and they've grabbed the lead from the Steelmen. And it's a 2-1 Appollos lead here. Watson trips up his man at the face-off circle. Embry goes down, and he was appealing for a call there. One of the fans, too. Things are getting a little chippier now after that most recent goal. There's some emotion creeping into this game now. On the near side boards, flipped out to center. And Isaac Embry collides with, I think, Mazarenko there, and I know that's Watson, a former Nanaimo Buccaneer. And now Watson headed over to the penalty box after that exchange, and Isaac Embry, I think, is headed over there as well. They're both going to get the gate here, but it should be even up hockey. The only question is, I believe, will it be 4-on-4? I think it should be. But we'll have to wait to see what Jake Pudan and Darren Matriarch put their heads together for. If I read the gesture right, looks like it should be 5-on-5 here. No, pardon me. It will be 4-on-4 hockey, I believe. And that's with the face-off. They are bringing Hogg out onto the ice. Okay, so a 5-on-4 situation. So there we go. Joey Grant comes out and evens it up. There was all sorts of confusion out there what the numbers game was going to be. But after all, it's even up hockey. Brandon Hogg puts on the brakes. His man fell down in front of him. But away come the Steelmen out of their own zone. Carry through center. Dancing around as Picard Winkle lost the puck in his skates. Look out at the blue line, and there's a good intercept. Joey Grant has some room. Nice curl into the middle. There's a shot, and way out to challenge Trey Sidaway. That shot. And Jared Winkle afterwards, he may have drawn a penalty here. I'm not sure. And he gets a tap from Darian Pause on the way back, and it looks like that's the end of the power play for the Lake Cowichan Appollos. So Roberts heading off, and now an opportunity for the Steelmen. Offensive zone face-off here. Eddie out here for this face-off. Keenan Eddy, the alternate captain, 1998 born player. He has a goal in this early season. Puck is played behind the goal. And the Steelmen with possession along the near side boards. Picard spins off of the circle, sends it up top. Return pass comes to Tynan Klein-Bakeman. Takes his time, sends it back over to his D partner on this power play. Into the slot he goes, he crept in. There's a rebound and it whistles wide of the goal, and it's going to come outside the zone here. And Thompson with some good speed gets the puck. He's got Keegan Eddy with him. There's a shot from outside, and that's blockered away by the goaltender Medvez. Long pass back into his own zone for Anderson. They're just going to kill some time on this Steelman power play and rag the puck. Now they'll send it the length of the ice. Riley Medvez activates, plays it on the backhand, and Now the Steelmen will take their time to get the setup that they want with 1:05 remaining in this power play. Carefully over the line. Now it's snapped in. Jordan Ray activates. Picard watches the near side boards. Van Herk gets in there, tried to play with the skates and couldn't. Ray from the corner puts on the brakes. From down below the goal line, feeds Colby Shelton at the point. Cross-ice pass. Here's the shot. Save in front, and they tried to play it into the middle, but no one was available to take the shot. And the puck is sent down ice by the Appollos. Now 37 seconds remaining in this power play. From in behind, Riley Medvez's left they come. Pass up the far side boards. On the tip to Zavelecki, and he's got some room. He sidestepped the hit into the middle. There's a lead for Melsness, and he fired it high and wide from the point, and Shelton just rips it. And now he's got to be careful. There's Kettlewell trying to break up the play on the far side. Snapper, and it goes off of the arm. Riley Medvez coming up with another save, an important one on a shorthanded opportunity for the Appollos. Zavalekian skates it, fakes the shot down the near side wing, but the puck goes up a little in front of him. Nice leave there for Grant in the corner. Head referee has to hop over that one through the crease. Oh, and an amazing save by Chris Akerman. Akerman from his left to his right, and he fights it off with his blocker arm, and a big stop by the goaltender, number 31, Chris Akerman. Shot number 22 was a dangerous one, and it was a one-timer from about 6 feet out. And he slides across left to right, making that stop look easy. But I assure you it was anything but. Face off to his right now. Clean win. Back to Pause. Shooting, scores! Darian Pause with a seeing eye laser. Top shelf. And his mates love the look of that. It's a 2-2 tie. Courtesy of that bullet from Pause. A perfect face-off win turns and transitions into a beautiful, hard wrist shot from the point. Just enough traffic in front to fool the tall goaltender. And if shot 22 was difficult, as I mentioned, shot 23 was impossible. Cleared down ice, and with a couple of white jerseys in the near vicinity, Riley Medvez will hang on to that one as we stand tied 2 apiece now. We're halfway through this contest. Face-off over to the right of Medvez, and it's a face-off win over to Burnett for the Appollos, and Anderson shoots. The puck rising high and hard. They don't get it out, though, the Steelmen. Another high shot. Race for the puck on the near side. Oh, Anderson threw the body hard. Steelmen tried to get a quick clear. Watson into the corner, and that backhand pass. Unable to control it fully was Nelson. Puck is jammed away by Klein Beekman. Now Anderson from the point. Oh, and that shot through traffic. Vanderlingen, he got nailed with that first one, and I don't know if he can make it on his own steam. Arjuna Vanderlingen, he's lifting his left leg. That one looked like it hurt. And down he goes. And I would be surprised if he doesn't need a little bit of time to shake this one off or head down the tunnel. But he's going to get looked over here at the far end of the bench. That looked like it hurt. Boy, can Anderson ever whale that puck. And when he winds up, actually, Vanderlingen was in a very bad position facing him after he had taken that initial hard shot block. And he couldn't get turned away from that secondary windup. I think actually Anderson might have taken pity on him there. Thompson from out of the corner. Puck is loose. There's the rebound off the inside of the post. Jumping out and snapping it off the post. Keegan Eddy. Now the play's back the other way. Saucer pass, and Eddy getting back into position. And he fights off the check of Jared Winkle, but Winkle's got some speed. Eddy lost his stick, and it's getting caught up with the puck there momentarily. Saucer pass. Thompson got in range, and now the play is stopped. And that might mean a Nanaimo penalty here. Jared Winkle, yes. As I said, Keegan Eddy's stick dropped, and we're good. 8:37 left, second period, and we're tied up at 2s. And with Jared Winkle in the box, the Appollos power play set to go to work again, and it's an important one here. A lot of momentum at stake. Parker Bergstrom is out there, Bryce Burnett. Trey Watson, the alternate captain, he's on the left wing. Burnett skates hard into the face-off circle, but the face-off goes back to the Steelmen. Watching very closely, a nice back check there by Zevelekian, and now it's sent out. Bergstrom knocks it down, and Kettlewell providing some down ice pressure. Bergstrom trades place with Evan Easton. Easton head up over the line, lays it back to the point. Hogg shooting, the puck was fought off, and it bounces out. Hard clear off of the boards, and it's a good long clear. That'll allow the Steelmen a chance to get Shelton off. Now two of them. Sitaway hits the ice, as does Klein Bakeman. Another crisp pass to Easton. Left shooting forward. Tried to stick handle to the near side and had the puck roll off his toe on his stick. And now the puck is cleared on edge. Hogg will get back to collect it with 1:07 to go here in this power play. Shots are now 27 for the Appollos, 23 for the Steelmen. And again, there was a time when it was 17-7 for the Steelmen. Bounce pass, this race for the puck. And they get down ice just in time. Broadhurst beating out the icing. And you could tell he wanted that one bad. Thompson out of the corner. Over to the point, now to Van Herk. Thought about shooting, gets into position. Now he's up at the umbrella. Plays it to the near side to Thompson, gets a return, takes a shot. Oh, and that goes off of a skate. And to the corner it goes. A dangerous setup, cross ice off the outside of the net. Thompson, all sorts of time, but not enough of an angle into the middle. And it's played back by Broadhurst, and he puts his head skyward as the pass eludes Van Herk. 16 to go on the power play. Appollos have looked dangerous, but they just couldn't get the shot that they wanted. Eddie tries to enter the zone, but he had to avoid a hit there as he was coming in over the line. Sent in wide of the goal. On the backhand, the goaltender's in bad position. Medvez gets back in, and he pulls his stick down, and it looks like there's going to be another Nanaimo penalty on a tripping call behind the net. Colton Thompson got tripped up, and now there's going to be another call here. Back-to-back power plays, and it's intercepted, that pass to the line, and the Steelmen having a tough time staying out of the box. This period has been a difficult one for them. They started off the period so well. Tynan Klein Bakeman, he'll be off for this tripping call. And now fatigue starts to become a factor. Face off to the right of goalie Riley Medvez. Easton tried to play it through to himself. Picard tied him up long enough. Puck bounces off, and Picard finds it, gets through. He has Ray on the other side. Picard, hard pass, and it had to be hard. But they're killing this penalty with aplomb. Comes out of the corner with it, does Ray to Picard. Return pass. Oh, and he tried to finesse it through the crease. Zevelekian keeps the play alive. 6 minutes to go in period number 2. Steelmen fighting this penalty off with just sheer determination. Back down ice it comes. Easton takes that spring pass, delays to the corner, and the puck is sent wide of Ryan Hogg's stick, and now they're going to just turn and clear it down ice once again. And Ackerman, all he can do is come out and tee it up with Shelton out in front, providing some pressure down both players like a bowling ball play. Easton throws a hit on Winkle, who's doing some good forechecking here. He'll back up. He and Trey Sitaway providing lots of pressure. Diving play over the line. Broadhurst, and that play is offside. There was a lot of people that were hoping for a tripping call there. But I think that the near side official felt that it was a little bit, maybe a little fabricated or maybe a little embellished. Hard to say. So 56 seconds remaining in the penalty here to the Steelmen. They killed off one just prior to this, but they have been playing with fire with these trips to the box, and I'm sure it's been taxing on their penalty kill here. Melsness gets a piece of that clear by Colton Thompson, and they'll send it right back the other way. Now a race for the puck, and the Steelmen are activating hard here. Keegan Eddy gets to it first, but Melsness will follow up, sends it towards the goal, and all the while he was looking to find his man in deep. And a good kill here. The Steelmen with a smart change, and out comes Isaac Embray. Van Herk, nice pass to the right side. Over the line comes Thompson, snaps it hard to the near side for Broadhurst. Turns and faces it, plays it behind him, but he lifts his head. He was a little worried that pass might not make it, but he picks up the rebound. 13 to go on the power play. From the near side corner, finds the far side. Oh, that pass was knocked away by Embray. He broke up enough of it. Melsness just plays patiently, cutting off any pass or funnel to the net. Here's the hold. Van Herk shoots off of the pad, hustling to get back into position, but the puck is picked up in flight. Look out! And wow, just getting out of the way in time. Tynan Klein Bakeman, who had raced out of the box, avoids a bone-crushing check. Puck is down the far side. Thompson activating to the middle, reaching out, backhands it, and it's between the pads. Oh, what a save by Riley Medvez to find that puck between the wickets and cinch it up, tighten it up and pull it in, and he makes the stop that he has to, and we're still knotted at deuces. The face-off will be to Medvez's right. Nelson into the face-off circle, wins it back clean to Anderson, snaps it, looking for the rebound. Burnett was right in the kitchen, just couldn't pick it up. Hard pass, intercepted by Anderson, sends it cross wing on the bounce. Hard stop up, but a good play by the Steelmen to get to that puck first, and they will get it out on the second effort, tipped down ice. Mazarenko over to Anderson. Anderson sends it up. Watson gets a piece of it, but Zavalekian body blocks him. Picard. Backhand shovel D to D, and now they'll send it up to center. Hard hit. Bodies come together. Vanderlingen, good to see him back out there ready to compete as he partially breaks up that play. Can't reach that puck that's sent aerial. But at the line, Picard was just inside the line, and he thought he could race out and have control on the way back in, but it should be a face-off just outside the blue line here of the Steelmen. Medvez skates out of his crease. What a good game we've been having here so far. Thank you for being here tonight with us live on the Nanaimo Steelmen YouTube channel, streaming live at a crisp 60 frames per second. Thank you very much for the fantastic equipment we're working with out of their own zone. Had to be careful. Now away comes Joey Grant. Oh, the pass was lacking in a good read there by Hogg, but on the trail, picking it up as Hooper into the middle and a nice cutout. Beautiful defensive play by Jamie Roberts. And the 2000-born Ladysmith product makes a big play defensively to help give his mates a chance to move it down ice. He'll snap it in cross ice here as it's attacked by Plum, and they'll skate it out quickly over the line. Slowed up along the boards by Roberts, and it's sent in deep. Joey Grant putting some heat on the goaltender, and Ackerman decided not to play it. Grant wanted to get in quicker, but it had to sidestep the official. And now Brady Van Herk quickly out of his own zone. He's got Narwhal on the trail. Takes it around wide. Tried to hook it up through the middle of the ice. And now here's a chance for the Steelmen on the counter. Good defensive play again by the Appollos as they get back into position and getting the skates together. Franklin helping break that one up, and the pass into the middle. Almost Sidaway nearly found a good pass there right through the crease. Plum had his stick tied up, and he and Narwhal exchange glances, and we do have a delayed offside, so the Steelmen touch up. Winkle providing some heat. Just over 90 seconds to go, second period. Back to a tied game here. Saucer pass through on the backhand by Winkle, and that one was to no one in particular. Pass goes back the other way. Potential 2-on-1. Franklin in the open on the wing, and a good defensive play now for the Steelmen. And can they turn it into something? Just sent long range, but I don't know that it's enough for icing. But it will get a full change for the Steelmen, who get out. Here's a race to the puck. Kettlewell getting back into position just in time to help break that play up. We're in the final minute, and the Steelmen It was a risky change, but they got it in, and now they're back 3-on-2 if they hurry. Picard rides the line, and his pass was blind and intercepted by Keegan Eddy. Nice pass up to Evan Easton, puts on the brakes, top of the faceoff circle to Eddy, tries to drive it through, scores! Tucks it in between the wickets. Keegan Eddy on the play with Evan Easton, the tic-tac goal. And that one's between Medvez's pads, and it's a 3-2 lead in the final minute of the second. Keegan Eddy, the beneficiary of that nice open pass. Evan Easton springing into the open, and his speed was on display there. All sorts of room for Keegan Eddy, and he just had to get the goaltender to commit to moving across, and as soon as he did, he deposits it low. He was all alone, one on goaltender. Joey Grant, motivated after that goal. Into the slot it goes. There's a shot, and it whistles up over the net. Final 30 seconds of the period. Cleared down ice, takes one bounce. They were looking for the stretch pass for Bryce Burnett. That pass was intended for Hooper, but he couldn't knock it down, and into the Steelman zone it goes. Kettlewell back to collect. A right shooting defender has a look as he slows up a little. Now he hits the center line and dumps it in cross ice. Time for maybe one final play, but Hogg protecting the puck with that open stance, and that's about going to kill the rest of this period in the neutral ice area. Burnett, he'll be one of the last players to touch it, but the Appollos come out of the period. They were down 1-0 after one. But the Apollos certainly made that their period. The amount of shots they were able to garner in period number 2 is probably one of the biggest stat highlights, I think. Of course, a couple of power plays will certainly do that for you. They were afforded a few of them, and the Steelmen, you have to think, have really got to find a way now to stay out of the box. After 2 periods of play, the shots 31 for the Appollos and 23 for the Steelmen, and it's quite an amazing turn of events. As we talked about before, at one point the shots were 17-7. So in that span, my math says there's been 24 Apollos shots and 6 for the Steelmen. And of course, as we mentioned, the power play is a big factor in that, but the Steelmen on a couple of penalties. The back-to-back penalties will come back to sting you at times, and even if the opposition isn't able to score, that fatigue can sometimes show through in the later parts of the game as the team has more difficulty skating down ice, getting in on the forecheck, coming back to break up plays. Some awesome defensive plays in that second period, and some of the defense were just fantastic here, especially, I would have to say, for the Appollos. There was some really undeniably great plays. We touched on a couple of them. Jamie Roberts in particular with that breakup, 2-on-1. Chris Ackerman was committing over to his left, but he gets his stick down and he was able to intercept that little saucer pass. Not an easy thing to do, to knock out of midair a puck like that with your stick along the ice and lifting it up. He was able to knock that pass down, and that's one of the degrees of separation, but it's a very close game here right now. 3-2 is the lead for the Appollos. You can hear the fans reacting as they're doing the shoot to win contest, and one of the fans was able to knock over the shooter tutor, as they call it, but wasn't actually able to put it underneath for the prize. So I think that prize might carry over to the next home game, but certainly in that second period, it kind of belonged to the Appollos. Several power plays and just a load of shots. But the Steelmen, they're still right in this contest, and I would have to say it feels a lot closer than the home opener did in Lake Cowichan. So the Appollos, they're right where they want to be right now, but it's the goaltending of Chris Ackerman, that one stop on Trey Sidaway, that was just, if you're not a giant goaltender like he is, you might not be able to necessarily make that stop, but it was that dexterity of getting from his left to his right, getting down. Trey Sidaway thought he had a goal. And then conversely, not that Medvez has been any slouch. He's made a lot of stops now. He's now officially the busier of the two goaltenders. But that one play where they were able to jam it underneath his pad, the play wasn't quite stopped. And it's not that the defense had stopped trying to break up the play, but no one could see the puck for a moment. They were able to whack it home, and that's been the difference here with what would be just one of those grit and determination goals. And the Lake Cowichan Appollos, they've shown a lot of that, particularly here in the middle stanza. They played an awesome 20 minutes of hockey, and they've come out with a 3-2 lead to show for it here. Power plays have been important, but they, oh, what a great shot too. I was just thinking about the shot that tied it up, and what an addition it's been for the Steelmen to have Isaac Embray. I think he's really provided a big spark. He's really all over the ice and really good at creating offensive zone chances. His first period was his best, but maybe number 24 has got something special for us in the final 20 minutes. Hard to say. And who knows, this could be one of those games where maybe we need an extra frame, a little bit of overtime, or possibly a shootout to settle things. Hard to say, but it is a one-goal game. We know that much. And the other thing we know is it's Saturday night, and man, I love hockey on Saturday nights. We're live inside the Nick. We're live on YouTube, the Nanaimo Steelmen YouTube channel, and we're very happy to be part of your entertainment on Saturday night. We're going to step away for a few moments, catch our breath, grab a hydration break, and just want to say thank you for joining us for the broadcast. We've got more West Coast Hockey League, Senior Hockey League action coming up. Don't go too far. This one's going to be a barn burner finish. I'm sure it's going to get a little physical. Going to want to stick around.
Oh, you'll be nothing but a zero. Throw your hands in the
Well,
3-2, that's where we're at. 40 minutes deep, and we got another 20 at least to go. Isaac Embray over by the bench. They're talking with one of the linesmen, with Caden Belmore. Thompson having a word with one of the officials near center. There's been, I think both teams feel there might have been one or two missed calls, but I think for the most part, it's been a pretty well officiated game. And I particularly like that one non-call towards the end of the second period, what they thought was maybe a tripping in front of the Steelmen bench on the Steelmen, but that was not called. There goes Franklin, early pass. Slick ice, he lost control for a moment, puts it towards the goal, but it just goes through the crease. Hard bump by Plum in the corner, and he wins that shoulder battle, getting it free. Snapped hard by Ray, and I think that hit the linesman. Yes, looks like he's feeling it. Jack McNabb right near the blue line there. Out towards center it goes, and that reach from the back is going to cost the Steelmen again here. And it's a tough way to start. Exactly 30 seconds in, and the Steelmen's Jordan Ray over to the penalty box. It's either going to be a hook or a high. Yeah, it is a hooking call, as he just slowed up and impeded his man just enough. Right around the Appollos blue line is where that occurred. So to the work goes the Appollos power play once again. Face-off comes to the point to Ryan Hogg into the middle. Franklin deposits to the left side. Gets a return pass now over to Hogg on the right. Working it in kind of a triangle formation here, and back to the umbrella they go. Hogg through distance, and there's a shot. Rebound, and it goes to the side of the net. Thompson was in front. Good job by Darian Pause to tie him up, and look at that battle in front. Puck is carried over to the near side. Franklin fakes the shot, puts it to the umbrella again for Hogg, shoots, tipped in front, and Thompson got a piece of it. Colton Thompson knocking it down in front of the goaltender. Hogg on the one touch to the near side, face-off circle, gets a return saucer. Dishes back to Franklin. He's going to go for a skate. Looking dangerous. Shoots, and that's off of the blocker. Another round off the side, and that's turned to the corner. Pause had his stick lifted from the corner. Thompson looking super dangerous here on this play. Puts it down below the goal line. Out of the corner he walks, and Riley Medvez not going to bite on that one, and he stays tight to his post on the stick side. Eddie keeping this power play alive. It's just over a minute in. Hogg sending it to the left side. Eddie left shooting forward, tries to put it through the crease. To the point it goes. Hard shot. Puck is loose. In the crease. Down he goes, and it's cleared to the corner. Good job by the Steelmen. Calm as you like. Clearing it to the corner. Now another chance. Franklin tries to drag, and he took the shot. That was Tynan Klein-Bakeman that cleared it away, by the way. Huge play by him, number 9. Puck sent to the point. Outside of Keenan Eddy's reach. The puck goes down ice, and a much-needed change. Out comes Zevelecki and Melness. And he intercepts that clearing play. Sends it back in on the chip. He goes after Ryan Hogg, and into the corner they go. Melness gets a good piece of him, and on the way back, puts his head down. He's going to have to skate this one back. Evan Easton, he had a big play towards the end of the second period. I talked with his dad in the intermission, and the puck is sent through to Brady Van Herk. Down below the face-off circle. Now below the goal line. That pass bounced off of his mate's stick. Good hit by Kettlewell to free up the puck for a moment. Van Herk from the point, shoots from distance. It took a tipped, and then right to the side of the goal, deciding to cover that one. Number 29, Riley Medvez. He's not going to take any chances on the back end of that power play. Going to give his team a chance to get out fresh troops. Joey Grant's out there along with Hooper. Grant's going to line up on the left side and into the face-off circle. Nelson tried to win that from Hooper, and Hooper got it to his winger. That puck played out over the line, and Anderson stepped up, took a poke at it, but he needs to back up, and that puck is sent right off of his body by Joey Grant. Grant tried to make a move around him at the blue line, but it rolled to his defensive partner. They send it the length of the ice, and that's an icing call here on the Apollos. So just a little over 3 minutes in here. A 3-2 lead for the Apollos. They trailed 1-0 after one. Manny Parra, I'm getting a look at him. He'll take on the left wing or left defensive point settings here as he backs up, watching McLean on the near side boards, who chips it out towards him near center. Hooper, backhand shovel pass. Vanderlingen got bodied by Anderson and couldn't put it deep. On the near side, McLean tried to play it hard and out, gets it at least out over the blue line, and Hooper backs it up in his own zone. Pass through center is a pretty good one, but Joey Grant couldn't maintain possession, but he gets some help from Hooper, returning the pass to the far side. Grant had his skate knocked out from underneath him momentarily. Vanderlingen on the pickup, tried to shovel it to the middle, and Keegan Eddy, who had that nice play to give them the lead, shot through traffic. He's going to get right back in behind the goal to try and chase it down. Andrew Plum spins it through to center. Trey Sidaway picking it up. Nice defensive play off of the skate, but Vanderlingen's there to follow it up. As Hogg, who has one of the goals here, sends it out to Colton Thompson, now reaching for it. Sidaway, someone broke their stick in the effort. On the near side bench, Eddie turns and sends it lengthwise along the ice. Franklin on the drop to Ryan Hogg, puts it back to Franklin. Looked like he was going to return it. Now in behind the net, Cole Broadhurst tried to move it to the middle, and that one heads down ice. Chris Ackerman out to play it. We're just about 5 minutes deep in period 3. Jamie Roberts, who had that big play, but now he's intercepted. Embre fakes the shot, but he gets back into position. Jamie Roberts recovers, and Embre heads to the middle of the ice, plays it to the point. Kept in by Kettlewell, and it's shot off of a skate. Evan Easton making that block. Now he's chasing the puck down. Zavalekian on his backhand, clears it hard, but Bergstrom's going to be first one there. Right shooting forward, puts it to the goal, and that went off of the goal stick and up into the crest of the goaltender Riley Medvez, but he gives Zavalekian a tap there with his stick saying, hey, thanks for keeping the coast clear on that rebound. Just wanted to mention a couple of the sponsors making tonight's game online here. Coming to you live, Possible, Hello Ferries, Columbia Fuel, M2 Mechanical. There's a face-off win shot, and he was looking top corner. Cole Broadhurst just a little too fine on that one. Nearly got it to go, though. Backhand pass is a good one to Herc, and then on the return, looking through the tip through from Evan Easton on that give and go. But they're going to have to cycle pass there on the near side. Hard hit along the boards, frees up the puck for Van Herk. Wants a tip in front, taking the shot, that's blocked, and the Steelmen are back, potentially 3-on-2 if they hurry. It looks like Broadhurst is tired. On the spin from Ray into the middle, looking for the tip. Oh, where's the puck? Oh, it goes through the crease and out the other side on the pass to the point. Unfortunate for the Steelmen, but the Appollos, they get a lucky break as the Steelmen unable to connect there. Now they can get a change, and Anderson will head out. Steele in front of the goal. Easton tries to stick handle through a phone booth, and he's lifted. His stick lifted at the last second. Big play there by Para, and now there's a stoppage in play. I think Pause, he got tied up with a man there, and Melsness got dumped to the ice by the captain, Josh Anderson. He lost his helmet in the process. Now, is it just a stop for stoppage sake, or is there someone being pulled out here? Oh, I think they're both going to go here. Melsness was headed over to the bench like, hey, I'm the one that lost my helmet. But Anderson chirps him on the way to the box, and Melsness, those two, boy, they're a couple of big customers. Should they happen to carry this conversation on outside of the box. And there's the captain, Josh Anderson. He's certainly not going to back down from that challenge, but they're still discussing it over on the bench. So who's to say what comes of that later, a couple of minutes from now when they step out. Bissett is waved into the face-off circle. Left shooting forward, but the puck is picked up by the Appollos. Behind the net they go, sent to the point to Jamie Roberts. He's had a fine game here tonight. Shot from distance, and it went through the crease. Oh, there was a tip in front. Watson nearly was able to put that between the legs of Riley Medvez. Out of the corner it comes, but the Steelmen with possession, but a pass is just too far for Bissett. And that's going to be an icing call against the Steelmen, so they're going to have to keep this line out there. Grant's line will remain out there. Andy Hellweger having a word with Bissett for this ensuing face-off. I'm sure he's not in love with having to have a defensive zone face-off here, but hoping that they can get possession on this draw. Bissett doesn't win it, and it goes back to Roberts shooting, and that was blocked. I think Joey Grant got a piece of that as he created some pressure on the man on the point, who is Roberts. Out to play it is Ackerman. Confidently sends it cross ice, but the puck is flipped out of play, and that actually hits Cole Broadhurst's glove on the bench. And the face-off will now come inside the Lake Cowichan Apollos zone as Joey Grant and Bissett get off the ice. And that'll make way for Jared Winkle, who's had a strong game offensively. He's created a lot of pressure, tries to move it to the middle, and there's another good defensive play. Norwal to the far side. That pass was not as crisp as it needed to be. Now to the middle for Winkle. Wrist shot, and it's a blocker save. Ackerman fighting that one off. Puck into the slot. Here's a chance on edge. Rebound to the side of the goal. Oh, and a sliding Ackerman off his glove and down onto the ice. Big save by Chris Ackerman. Play comes back the other way as the Appollos on the counterattack. McLean going hard to the net. Steelman trying to figure out which assignment they have. Zavalekian spins it to the point and at least gets it out. Brady Van Herk collects for Cowichan Apollos. to center, and it's intercepted by Sidaway. He's got to wait for Embray to touch up. Embray wants to get to the bench, and they'll get 2 players off here. Grant and Ray now out onto the ice. Play through the middle. Look at that interception. Jordan Ray fresh off the bench. He has Winkle behind him on the trail, on the drop. Tried to play it through the skates. And another good defensive play. Franklin now on the counterattack. Narwhal hits the line. Tried to play it through the skates, and now here's an intercept by Jordan Ray. Maybe a 2-on-1 or 3-on-2. Ray on the look-off, shoots between the legs. No, it's a save. Big stop by the goaltender Ackerman as he closes the wickets. And another big stop for number 31. Oh, he deserves a drink after that concentration. Steely-eyed Chris Ackerman, or Akes as they call him. That's a big stop. He's going to need a moment here to just make sure his helmet's all dusted off and good to go. Face off to his right. Franklin ties up his man long enough. They tried to put it back to Manny Parra, but unable to play it off the boards was Grant. He was covered by Franklin, who shoulders him. Puck goes into the crease, comes to the point. There's a slapper looking for the tip in front. Puck is loose. Poked away by Ackerman. Backhand goes into his crest, and he swallows it up at the top of the blue. Chris Ackerman making himself big, and that's when he plays best. And he's really turning on the juice now. Chris Ackerman making lots of important saves here as the Steelmen make a bid to tie this one up. 11.5 to go. Third frame. Draw back to Plum, and he couldn't control it. And now here's a race for the puck. He just swats it off the boards. Hot in pursuit was Broadhurst. Anderson tried to join the rush, and that was broken up by Plum. As I mentioned, they were having a big discussion on the penalty area there, but hasn't boiled over quite yet. Manny Parra backing up in his own zone, goes D to D. There's the pass to Ray. It was a little bit in front of him, and now Broadhurst, he gets a piece of it, but he's offside. He didn't have control at the line. And that'll be a face-off right in front of the Nanaimo Steelmen bench, just outside the blue line. And there's a good look at Cole Broadhurst. He's a very passionate and emotional player. And he's still having words. Oh! And Bissett was ready to drop the gloves, but Trey Watson decided he didn't want to have that happen, and so Bissett, he'll head off the ice here. He wanted to have a tilt with Trey Watson to maybe try and right the ship from earlier, but now Anderson out there, he's talking to one of the officials. He's trying to get a couple of words in as Jake Padan and Darren Matrick talk things over about that last play, or non-play as you might call it. Now Andrew Plum feels the need to go over and speak to the officials because it's an awkward situation when someone drops the gloves like they were going to fight and the opponent doesn't, because there's still the order of business, wasn't really a fight. But taking off your gloves is definitely a show that you're ready to do so. And it's caused a bit of a time lapse here. So we'll get this sorted out. And I think Darren Matrick is convinced that they've got the right call. So they're just imparting that information to Don Miller right now. And there's Andrew Plum listening in intently as Andy Hellwager, the head coach and general manager of the Steelmen, is being dispensed some information here on what will happen. And so now, indeed, Trey Watson is over in the penalty box. He was trying to claim innocence, but I think Andy Hellwager is saying, I don't think Bissett would have dropped his gloves if he wasn't verbally told something to that extent. And as I mentioned, Bissett, he left via the corner exit there along the rink as his gloves were tossed to him at the end. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is just an even up situation, but it sure looks like it to me, and I think we can get back to some hockey here. Shots are 41 for the Appollos, 29 for the Steelmen. Just one goal between these two clubs, and just under 11 minutes remaining here in period 3. Jamie Roberts completes the pass, sent down ice, and gloved by Riley Medvez. Thought about hanging on to it, but was able to get rid of it behind the goal. Roberts picks up that aerial flutter out at center. Ryan Hogg going for a skate, but he's partially intercepted by Melness as a shot off the blocker of Ackerman, and Hogg is first one to it. He'll have a look down ice. Nelson trying to come back off of Burnett's shin pad. Did well to even take it off the shin pad there. Long range pass. It was partially knocked down, but Brandon Melness with the saucer through. He finds Arjuna Vanderlingen, and he couldn't maintain possession. And the Steelmen touch up at the line. Now they stick handle over the line. Melness drops off to Vanderlingen, who was trying to spin off of his check, and I think he might still be favoring that left leg a little bit that he heard earlier. Looked a little awkward for him to get spun around. Kettlewell right near his bench gets in front of the puck carrier. That was Brandon Hogg, and he'll get off for Keegan Eddy, who has one of the markers here tonight. Puck is sent down ice, but it was touched en route. Chris Ackerman had his glove up for a potential icing call, but that was waved off right away. Franklin had to get out of the road. Isaac Embray got in the road, and that allows Jared Winkle to get possession for the Steelmen. 9:20 to go here, period 3. Steelmen need a goal to tie things up. Lots of time right now, but it's always ticking. That's the whole thing. Into the corner they go, and a good stop up by the defense. Mazarenko sidesteps one, and now a little bit more room as getting back is Trey Sidaway to force the puck carrier wide. Shot on goal. That drifts to the corner, and that's picked up by the Appollos behind the goal. To the circle, shot through the paint, and Kettlewell did a good job to tie up his man in front. Puck is out to center, picked up on the fly. Embray, and he has one going to the middle. It's Winkle, can't get it to him, and he gets decked to the ice. And there's going to be a cross-checking call, and the Steelmen, I guess the puck was touched up, but regardless, Josh Anderson is not very keen on this call, and the Steelmen are going to go to the power play with 8:33 remaining. Josh Anderson, a little bit too hard of a shove on Isaac Embray as he cut through this slot area. So the captain in the box, and these are going to be a long couple of minutes for the stalwart defender. Josh Anderson face off to the left of the goaltender, shot through traffic, and Ackerman just did well to deflect it wide, and the puck is tipped out of play, and it should be a face-off back inside the Cowichan Appollos. So cross-checking the call. Custom Stucco Solution, Downs Construction, ABA Learning Center, Brandon Wong Hockey, Eli and Sons Plumbing and Heating. Those are just a few names. We'll get to a couple of more. Darian Pause off the boards as they work this fresh power play. Hard saucer pass cross ice, and that's partially intercepted near the line. Trying to get away are the Appollos. Burnett forcing the issue down the far side, and a good recovery by Tynan Klein-Bakeman out of the corner. Puck goes off of a skate. I think he was trying to maybe get a bit of an eye on a possible even up call here, but the Steelmen stay out of the box for now. Burnett with his speed opened things up, but he had to sidestep a hip check there from Tynan Klein-Bakeman. Long shoot in, and that will allow a partial and change. Broadhurst, Van Herk, Wilson out there on the ice for the Appollos. Now that's a fortuitous play for the Steelmen, but that hard pass broken up by Wilson. In behind the net it goes. Steelmen having all sorts of trouble getting set up on this power play now. It was looking good to begin with, but they're going to have to work with 47 seconds from their own zone in behind their own goal. Broadhurst, the lone presence down ice for the Appollos. Clogging up the middle. Nice pass from Grant. He hooks up with Embray, who has a look off of the left wing. spins, protects the puck from Van Herk, but the puck will go to the far side. Zavalekian, hard pass to the side of the face-off circle. Now they have some control. Melsness to the middle, and that one knocked down. And Joey Grant, he went down in a heap with Keegan Eddy, and Eddy's slow to get up. Broadhurst just sends it cross ice, and now the penalty almost complete here. Anderson ready to step out of the box. Steelmen still need a goal. Sidaway sidestepping a check. Sharp angle chance. And it was fought off by the goaltender, Brandon Melsness. Chops it around the boards. But his mates are getting off the ice. Embray finds the puck. He gets bodied along the boards by Keegan Eddy, who just seems tireless out there. Looked like he was done for the shift, but that puck sent down ice, and it's going to be an icing call. So I don't know that they're going to be able to swap up. Keegan Eddy's going to have to stay out on the ice, and he looks gassed. He fell down with Joey Grant, and I think that might have partially taken the wind out of Eddy as he's got some kind of a skate issue, and he's showing the referee that he has that skate issue, so they can indeed get Thompson out there. That kind of seemed like a veteran move to me by Keegan Eddy, who was gassed. Oh, that's some good stuff. More intrigue here inside the Nanaimo Ice Centre. Para tries to cut off the puck. Thompson had it momentarily. Picard pokes it off of him. 6 minutes and change to go. Thompson off of the near side boards, tries to get away, and he's being covered hard by Manny Para, and that's going to draw a penalty. And it's a hooking call against the Steelmen, so now they're going to have to kill a penalty here, and they're still down a goal, so it's making things a little bit more difficult for them. As Para, just too much of a hook there, but he was kind of forced into the penalty in the sense that would have been a little bit of free real estate there for Thompson, and Thompson is so dangerous. That speed of his tonight has been nothing short of just setting up plays for his teammates. Nice backhand pass, comes to the point for Hogg. Defers to Eddy. Now Hogg closing in on the near side. Franklin loads, shoots, and that's off the outside of the netting over Riley Medvez's left shoulder. Look out at the side of the goal. Medvez didn't know where it was. Steelmen get it to center, and Isaac Embray is just going to take this puck and rag it, and he takes a hit right in front of the bench, and he'll just climb over. Thanks for the help, Broadhurst. And Broadhurst shakes it off. I think one of the sticks came up as he threw a hit, and there's going to be another penalty to the Steelmen as the puck is sent in. And I think it's going to be roughing, and that moment where Broadhurst threw his hand up to his face, Isaac Embray is going to get a penalty here. So the Steelmen, for a minute 18, they're going to be down 2 men, and this is really going to test their mettle. So they'll have Kettlewell, Sidaway, and Zavalekian out there on this penalty kill. Just a reminder, the next home game, 7 o'clock. This is the place, and that's on Halloween night. Van Isle Carpet Cleaning, Fitness World, Handy Dart, Steve Holiak with Bastion Wealth Advisors, MKM Projects Limited, all helping keep the lights on here tonight. Easton moves in from the face-off circle, and that one drifts off of the skate of Zavalekian in front. Sidaway trying to just keep them out here on this condensed diamond formation. Easton down below the goal line, gets towards the goal, and that one tipped wide. It didn't miss the inside of the post by much. 50 seconds, 55 on the original penalty. Easton through traffic, and it just hobbled over Van Herk's stick, but he gets it back to the point, moving in. There's the shot. Oh, and it tipped in front. All sorts of battle. Look at the battle between Trey Watson and Zavalekian in front. Comes back to the point. Closing in, there's a shot through traffic, and it's off the left pad. Riley Medvez kicking that one out. 30 seconds on the 2-man. To the far side, tried to drag him through, and it's batted away by one of the defenders in front. First save might have been made. Evan Easton comes off the top of the face-off circle, loading, shoots, and that one just tipped off of a skate and wide. Oh, he had lots of time to draw that up. Narwhal somehow got a piece of that, delivers to Easton behind him through the crease. Oh, and a big save, Riley Medvez. Oh, that's a beautiful save. Medvez keeping his team alive, and he's helped kill penalty number 1. Absolutely stunning stuff from these goaltenders tonight. What a treat we've had. If it's not Ackerman doing a prone position stack of his right pad against the post, it's Riley Medvez coming from left to right. Oh, and look at this. Narwhal's headed to the box. Well, that's cranked up the drama a little bit here. So with only 38 seconds remaining in the penalty to Isaac Embray and 3:53 in the period, it's a 2-minute power play for the Steelmen. We're even up now for the moment, but it will be shot from distance. Oh, and that went off of the blocker. Hogg was in front, and I think he partially screened his goaltender. Oh, that was close. That was so dangerously close to being a goal. Broadhurst works it out to center. Over the line he comes. Pass was partially deflected. Burnett trying to drive the net. Played to the far point, and Hogg can't out-battle his man there, and the puck is knocked down ice, and now just 8 seconds remaining in the penalty to Isaac Embray. We'll have to keep an eye on Embray if he stays out or if he heads right straight to the bench. Anderson trying to slow things down. Can the Steelmen keep this puck in? Yes, they can. Along the boards, a sidestep and the hard pass for Ray. Through the crease, shoots. Puck is loose. Ackerman got down and he covered it up. So close as Chris Ackerman just dives on top of that puck. Riley Medvez was creeping out of the net, and it looks like Andy Hellweger wants to call the timeout here for the Steelmen. So we'll have a little bit of a break. Andy Hellweger letting the official know he wants to call the timeout. And yes, indeed, it will be a timeout charged to the Steelmen. On the heels of that important 2-man penalty kill, and Cole Mans giving his goaltender some taps. The starting goaltender Riley Medvez for that huge stop that's made this lead only a single marker and kept the Steelmen within reach of a tying goal here late in the third period. Nanaimo YCD Airport, end of the roll Duncan, and Foggy Hill Construction. And of course, Hello Ferries with ferry passes. I know they had a game, 2 tickets up for grabs for, I think it's the November 7th hockey game. Face off now over to Ackerman's right. Steelmen win the draw. Back to Tynan Klein Bakeman. To the other side, looking for the tip in front. Oh, and a diving play. Roberts getting his body in front of that one, and he's had huge blocks this game. Maybe that's the biggest so far. 1 minute on the abbreviated power play as the Steelmen continue to have control. 2:45 remaining in the period. Trying to set up in front through the crease. Oh, and it went off of Picard's skate, drifts through, but they still have possession. Now 45 on the ticker. From the point, sit-away one-time pass, and that was off of the shin pads of Brady Van Herk. Off of the sideboards, out to the point for Trey Sidaway. One-timer shot coming and through the rebound. Oh, and it bounced off the defender. Now another pass over to the right side. Shot through traffic, kicked out. Ackerman with the right pad save. 25 on the power play. Lets it whistle through. Rebound to the side of the goal. Comes up to the umbrella. Trey Sidaway. Shot. Rebound in front. Scores! On the rebound. Jordan Picard with his second of the game, and he ties it up with 130 seconds to go in the game. Number 14, Jordan Picard, and he finds the goal and he delivers the strike that they need. It's a tie game. Oh boy, what pressure, what control, and Josh Anderson still livid with the referee, Darren Matrick. And he's getting an explanation now. I think he felt like the play should have stopped when the puck was loose, but his pleas are falling on deaf ears. It's a good goal for the Steelmen, and we're tied up at 3s. Here comes Tynan Klein Bakeman with the fake. He has Hooper in the slot. Sharp angle shot, and he tests Ackerman again. Steelman right back to work behind the goal. Sent to the point. There's a wrister from Plum, scores! A seeing eye shot from the point, and he snaps the twine behind the goaltender, and a huge goal. electrifies this crowd, and it's a 4-3 lead, courtesy of Darian Pause. What a bullet of a shot, and Chris Ackerman shakes his head in the crease. He did everything he could on that play, but it was just too much, and the pressure mounted, and on shot number 40, the Steelmen grabbed the lead with just under 2 minutes to play in regulation. Oh, what a turn of events. They were up 3-2, the Appollos, but they've had a surge from the Steelmen. Darian Pause breaking the 3-3 tie that was just established by Jordan Picard. Puck left at the line. Oh, nearly a steal by Trey Sidaway, but now Franklin on the near side. Stick handles to the outside, cuts to the middle on the backhand, shoots, and it's just up over the goal. $1:23 to go. Out to the point. They vacated the net at 6-on-5. There goes Picard. He's got a couple. Van Herk, look at that skating as he gets back and breaks up that chance. But the Steelmen now with a puck at their own blue line, drifting backwards, watching out for Evan Easton. Puck is kicked up by Brady Van Herk. Played in over the line, but no control. A minute to go. Look at that stick handle. The net's empty. Zavalekian shoots from distance, and that's blocked by the captain, Josh Anderson. Played up the near side boards. Picked up in flight. Eddie on the backhand. Can he slide it through? Diving play by Isaac Embray. 45 on the ticker, side of the goal, and that shot drifts up over the net. Easton now with the puck. Plays it to Ryan Hogg on the point. Sends it to Anderson. Loads, fires, rebound, scores! And they tie it up. Big goal by Parker Bergstrom, and it's a 4-4 tie. And the referees pull him away from the bench as he celebrates right in front of the Steelmen. Oh, you can't even write this kind of a script. 34 seconds remaining, and the Appollos draw even. What a game. Tick for tack, tack for tick. Back and forth they go, and what a game we have here. This is opening night, folks. Franklin loses that draw on the Steelmen. They were 34 seconds away from polishing this one away on a wild comeback here in the third. But we might be headed to an extra frame, and I talked about that possibility earlier. And it's drawing closer with every second of these last 14 that tick down. Broadhurst clearing chance, and that one off of the shoulder went high off of the boards. 7 seconds remaining. Played out to center, and Broadhurst, I don't think he's going to score from there with that amount of time. We're going to overtime. And opening night in Nanaimo means that the West Coast Senior Hockey League is going full tilt tonight. We need an extra session here, folks. Oh, and there's quite a contingent here for the Lake Cowichan Appollos. Right down in front of us, I can see Robertson jackets, Bergstrom jacket, Nelson jacket, and a whole bunch of Apollo swag. They've really come to represent here tonight. They made the trip, and it's been well worth it. What a game. Barn burner here on opening night, and as much drama as you like. And I saw the assistant coach down on the bench, Rob McNutt, imploring his team to just keep their focus, to just bounce right back from that tying marker, because they did a big thing in getting this game even to this point. And still thinking about that save by Riley Medvez in the third period with 6 minutes left. And Chris Ackerman has another chance to prove his quality like he's been doing all night. The shots, 48 for the Appollos, 40 for the Steelmen. And it looks like we're ready to do some 3-on-3. There's a lot of ice. The puck doesn't change size. The rink doesn't. But it sure feels like there's a lot more room out there in 3-on-3 than 5-on-5 or even 4-on-4 hockey. Possession is everything. And that's what both of these teams want to nail down right off the hop. Isaac Embray getting some final words there from Rob McNutt on the bench. But it looks like they're just about ready to go. Jared Winkle will start the extra session. Klein Bakeman, he'll be out there as well. Darian Pause with that huge goal in the third period. We've been treated to a great game here tonight. Steelmen with possession. Easton on the ice. Pass for Winkle. Now speeding down the wing towards the net. Isaac Embray decides not to shoot it. And as I mentioned, above all else, possession is key here in the overtime session, and a lot of times they'll vacate the zone just to maintain it. There's a good block by Franklin. Potential 2-on-1. He has Easton in the slot. Franklin holds, puts it across, off the skate. Big save by the goaltender Medvez as he stays tight to the shooter. Oh, Riley Medvez with another big stop, and he was staring right down the barrel of Caleb Franklin's forehand shot, and he stops it at the top of the blue paint. Shot number 50 is a big test, and he stands tall. Riley Medvez giving his team a chance here in the OT session. We've got 4.5 left to go in it. Picard, he's got 2 goals in this game. Is there anything else left in that stick as he wins that face-off against Keegan Eddy? And the Steelman with possession. On the drop for Jordan Ray as he winds it up at the far face-off circle, down to the middle of the ice. Over the blue line he goes, tried to play it through his man, and he'll force that stop out of Ackerman, who covers it at the top of the blue paint. And there'll be a face-off now over to his left. Only 50 seconds in. We're only 10% into this OT period if we play the whole thing, but something tells me I don't think we're going to. Ray on the near side on the face-off circle. Picard goes and gets the puck. Has some room. Tried to dangle. The puck goes off of the defender's skate, and now Anderson chasing. Goes to the point for Darian Pause. Dishes off. Ray through the middle. Finds the handle. Oh, and a big stop off the glove. Chris Ackerman. Look what I found. Oh, boy. Both goaltenders putting on a show, and it's Chris Ackerman's turn to flash the leather and force another face-off. Trey Sidaway going for a skate, left shooting forward, lets it go, and it's off of the blocker, fought off by Ackerman, and Parker Bergstrom grabs control. Slowly from behind his own goal, sends it down for Cole Broadhurst. They made a change. Brady Van Herk's out on the ice, gets to the slot. It has Bergstrom covering for him on the point. And now Broadhurst drops off for Van Herk. Relays for Broadhurst outside the line. He gave it up for a moment. Joey Grant on the drop pass, and he just put it outside the line for Kettlewell. Otherwise, they had a potential 2-on-1, and that pass, the drop pass, just a little too far. And Joey Grant, I'm sure would love to have that one back, but he'll probably have another crack at it here. Jared Winkle out now in the face-off circle with Isaac Embray on his left. But Caleb Franklin wins the puck back to his defense, and now they'll skate it out of their own zone. Under the close eye of Jared Winkle, Ryan Hogg splits wide through the crease, and a big stop by Riley Medvez. Neither of these goaltenders wants to concede. And they are putting on a show. Face-offs won by the Appollos through the... Oh, and looking for the tip between the legs. Evan Easton was going to make this a highlight reel finish. Just couldn't get the handle on the puck, but he leaves for Hogg. Cuts into the middle, loads, shoots, and a big block by the defense, and Jared Winkle collects. And now Tynan Klein-Bakeman, he has to reach back to find that puck, puts on the brakes. Nice pass up the boards, and now Embray has a potential 2-on-1. Winkle coming down the wing, into the middle, off of the skate. Oh, and Ackerman fought it off somehow, and he reels in the rebound. End to end action. Big chance at one end. No, we're going back to the other end. East, west, it doesn't matter. The saves are awesome at both ends, and now a face-off over to the right of Chris Ackerman. Klein-Bakeman with the puck at the point. Now he activates towards the goal. Picard sends it wide for Jordan Ray, almost left without the puck, but he hangs on to it. On the drop, it was kept in by Tynan Klein-Bakeman through the crease, looking for the return. Oh, and on the back door, diving effort by the defense into the middle, knocked away by Ackerman, and there's a hit by Klein-Bakeman. Hustles to get back into position with Keegan Eddy on the far side. Thompson gets rattled along the boards, and there's a big battle right at the blue line as Picard, with 2 minutes left, pops back up. Keegan Eddy waiting for some help. Plays it off of the boards. Oh, and that was back to Winkle. Man coming on was Bergstrom. The hold by Winkle, waiting for help. Has one in the slot. Doesn't deliver yet. Carries it to the top of the blue line, and he opts to leave the zone. 1:41 to go. There's the stick handle by Winkle, holding through his skates. Nice pull through, activating his embrace. Drops off. There's the return pass for Winkle, and he's going to have to come back outside the zone, and so does Embrace. Winkle drops off for Darian Pause, that big goal that got them to the even. Oh, and there's a hit by Eddy. There's a shot through traffic. Winkle denied. From the point, delayed call coming up now for the Steelmen. They do well to get the puck off. There's the hard shot, whistled wide of the goal. Winkle tied up, but the puck comes back. There's a near side pass from Picard. Man is down to the top. Shot. Oh, and that whistles wide over the trapper. Steelmen still with control. Picard delivers over to Pause. Cross ice looking for the tip. Bounces down in front of the goaltender. Ackerman can't grab it. Embrace, and the puck is underneath Brady Van Herk, and the play stops. And now I believe there's a call coming up against the Appollos with 49.3 seconds left, and I think it was a holding call that was being gestured by the official. But there now, finally, begrudgingly, Keegan Eddy, who had that huge goal in the second period, going between the wickets of goaltender Riley Medvez, he's off to the penalty box. Now, here's the thing, is it all, for all intents and purposes, is really only a 49-second power play, because after the 5-minute session, if we're still tied, it will go to a shootout, is my belief. There is 2 minutes up on the board, but as I mentioned, for Keegan Eddy, just 49 seconds remaining in the period, or in the overtime session. And then we should be going to a shootout. And there's Chris Ackerman, who's faced 45 shots. He's stopped 41 of them. And both goaltenders with well above a .9, a 0-0 save percentage here tonight. Goaltenders looking great. The action's been fast and furious. And what a third period we've been treated to. And now overtime. The 4-on-3 setting because of the extra man. Tynan Klein-Bakeman sends it across. Trace Sidaway, they'll set this up carefully. Again, possession so important and key. Thompson watching from the top of the face-off circle. There's the delivery from Ray. Watches the man sneaking in. Delivers to Klein-Bakeman through the slot, and they can't collect it. It'll be spun down ice. And the Steelmen now with 24 seconds remaining will tee it up from behind their own goal. Long pass, finds Sidaway, and he just sweeps it in on the backhand. Jordan Ray activates. Ackerman out to play it along the boards. Covered at the line by Jordan Picard. Spins off of one check. Plays it to the point, but it comes outside the line, and with just a couple of seconds left on the clock, they'll let it wind down. So Trey Sidaway steps out of the penalty box, and as I mentioned, it was basically a 49-second power play. And now down to the absolute nitty-gritty here. Riley Medvez will head over to the bench as the coaches have to deliver their shootout lineups here. And Andy Hellweger, who there's always such a chess game involved too. Tynan Klein-Bakeman giving his goaltender Riley Medvez a glove tap there as he backs up into his crease. He'll be the first one out to make a stop or to allow a goal. That's how it's going to go. And number 25 looks poised to take this penalty shot for the Appollos. Pardon me, 22, that's Caleb Franklin. And the right shooting forward in this 4-4 tie has the privilege and maybe the, I'm not sure what the word is, but the slight trepidation of being the first shooter, so much on your stick and so clutch if you can be the one to open up the scoring and give your team that all-important upper hand up on the shootout clock. As he winds up far to the left here, picks the puck up at center, drives wide on the outside, cuts up above the face-off circle, shoots, and he rings it off of the bar on the glove side. Caleb Franklin puts it off of the post. And it's 0-1 for the Appollos, and Tynan Klein-Bakeman will get the honor here for the Steelmen as he sets up way deep inside between the face-off hash marks, picks it up at center. A left shooting defender, top of the face-off circle, cuts to the middle, fakes the head, backhand, and it's low and just wide. And Chris Ackerman emphatically giving him the gesture that that one is a no goal as well. One shot apiece and no one to score yet. Evan Easton, the former Victoria Cougar, coming in on goal wide on the near side, holds, tried to tuck it in on the back door. Riley Medvez says, here's my left skate and pad, and that's staying out. Evan Easton with some flashy moves, and he nearly tucks it in back door. Picard had 2 goals in regulation. Coming in on goal now off of the left side. Snaps it low, but Chris Ackerman says, get that thing out of here. And it's 0 for 2 on both sides. Now Ryan Hogg, the top pairing defenseman. A right-handed shot coming in wide on the right. Top of the face-off circle to the middle. Snaps it looking glove side, and Riley Medvez stays right with Ryan Hogg and stops that one. And now Jordan Ray, the former VIU Mariner. Always tons of speed. And that's one of his best weapons as he picks up the puck at center, coming in quickly over the blue line to the face-off circle. Wide stance, scores as he backhands it, and it goes up over the right shoulder of the goaltender. It's a 5-4 win for the Steelmen. Jordan Ray puts it away in the shootout. The only one to score. And he goes backhand after he splits wide stance, and he takes the puck around the goaltender. And Chris Ackerman, what a game he had. Riley Medvez, what a game he had. Are we not entertained? The fans are loving this great hockey we've been treated to here tonight. And the Steelmen make good on their home opener with a 5-4 win in the shootout. Jordan Ray puts it away, but man, there were so many subplots and chapters to this story. The Appollos just rolled hard in the second period, and the goaltenders, as they should, congratulating each other. What a battle. And we're going to talk about this one for a while. Holy, amazing stuff from both of the goaltenders, and Andy Hellweger giving Riley Medvez a big hug. He is happy with number 29, and why wouldn't he be? Huge game for Riley Medvez. 51 shots fired his way, and a great game indeed. Fans are loving this. They're just ecstatic as they're leaving the building. A great contest here tonight. Lots of things to talk about, but most importantly, the Nanaimo Steelmen coming back. And, you know, it's so difficult to go 0-2 on a season when you're opening up at home. You open up on the road and then you come back home, and there have just been so good tonight here. The goaltending, the defensive play, end-to-end action, rushes back and forth. This game had absolutely everything. And thinking of the 2-goal performance by Jordan Pickard, putting his team in a position to come back. And how about those late-game heroics from both teams? Beautiful goal from the point from Darian Pause, and I think that was probably the goal that got the crowd the most into it here tonight. Some fans, young fans getting on TV here. You got to get it while you can. How you doing, my friend? Great hockey game. Yeah, you got to raise them right, and you got to get them a hockey jersey, that's for sure. And the Steelmen, their fans are coming in, and they're loving tonight's hockey. A big 5-4 win. As I mentioned, Andy Hellweger's group, they did a fantastic job. But the opposition, Adam Smith and his team, were just a juggernaut here tonight. As he mentioned in the pregame, they're a big team, but they can skate, and they're skilled. And the product was on display here tonight. Certainly some great individual efforts too, but Caleb Franklin, he was awesome. Colton Thompson, I thought, was probably the stir that straws the drink for the Appollos. Offensively, if there was a puck to be found, he was the one that was getting in there and getting it. Speed, skill, that's what this team was all about. And you heard Adam Smith talk about the depth throughout their lineup, and that was on full display. What a contest here tonight. I'm just buzzing. A 5-4 shootout win, the Nanaimo Steelmen on opening night here. And you were right here with us on this YouTube feed, live at 60 frames per second. It was just a great game to be part of. And more importantly, I think it was just the goaltending battle that really framed the context of this game. There was nearly 100 shots between the two teams. I'll let that sink in for a second. But 45 shots for the Steelmen, 51 for the Appollos, 96 shots in total. But it all comes, actually there was technically more than that with the shootout shots, but where it all counts at the very end, a point for the Appollos to get to the overtime session, and more importantly for the Steelmen, a couple of points for them as they go 1-1 on the season with this big win in the shootout. We're going to wrap it up here from the Nanaimo Ice Centre. Fantastic game here tonight. Jordan Pickard, lovely stuff. A couple of goals from him, and just so many great plays out there tonight. Lovely backhand goal there by Keegan Eddy in tight to give his team the 3-2 lead. But ultimately, the Steelmen come back and they tied it up. We went to OT, didn't solve anything there, but the shootout, Jordan Ray, the only goal scorer, as he puts it up over the right shoulder of Chris Akerman, who had a whale of a game. I'm Lorenzo Jensen. I hope you've enjoyed the broadcast here tonight, and the Steelmen would love to thank you and the sponsors for being a big part of this game. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and thank you, everyone, for joining us here on the Nanaimo Steelmen YouTube channel. I'm Lorenzo Jensen. Have a great night, everyone.